Hi, I'm Greg from the Scary Spirits podcast. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Mad Scientist cocktail, which is the cocktail featured in this week's episode. But please remember, I am not a bartender. I only play one on the internet. Okay, this one is a real easy one, although there is a little prep time involved. You're going to need a 14-ounce bag of Skittles, some vodka, some soda, such as ginger ale or lemon lime soda, and if you can get it, some dry ice. The night before you serve the cocktail, you need to separate all the Skittles by color. You choose which colors you want to use, put them in a jar, and then add about half a cup of vodka to each jar. And you're going to let that sit for 6 to 12 hours so that the vodka is infused with the coloring from the Skittles. Once that's done, all you need to do is get yourself a glass, maybe some nice scientific beaker like this. Then we're going to take our Skittles infused vodka. I chose purple. And you're going to add 1.5 ounces of your vodka. And then you're going to add 6 to 8 ounces of the soda, such as ginger ale or lemon lime. I am using Sprat. That's pretty cool looking. So at this point, if you have it available to you, you would add a cube of dry ice and it would start foaming or smoking. I don't have dry ice, so I'm just going to use ice. You can add a straw if you like. Basically, that is all there is to it. Wow, that's sweet. Enjoy. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So if you're ready, let's go. Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Karen.
And welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. Karen, why don't you tell the listeners what the Scary Spirits podcast is all about?
The Scary Spirits podcast joins the wildly different yet highly compatible worlds of scary movies and alcoholic spirits. What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed, what could possibly go wrong? Karen, I believe this week's movie was your choice. What movie did you choose to force us to watch?
That's a nice intro. I'm guessing you loved the movie.
Absolutely.
I chose The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
And Karen, why? Why might you have chosen this film?
I chose this film for truly sentimental reasons. I started watching these kinds of movies because my mom liked to watch these movies. And every time I watch them, I think of her. She's not around anymore, but I'm sure she'd appreciate that I still force people to watch these kind of movies with me. And The Brain That Wouldn't Die is a movie that I remember seeing multiple times at home with her. Do you remember the Cool Ghoul?
Yes.
This is the kind of movie that he would do. If you're from Cincinnati, he was
Or Southwest Ohio.
yeah, he worked for Channel 19. And
There was a fake Cool Ghoul in Cleveland, but he doesn't count.
No, the real Cool. My mom took us to see him once. That's how much she loved this stuff. We actually saw him at a personal appearance, and I was pretty young, and I thought he had a turtle on, like a turtle shell on top of his head. But later, when I look at pictures, I think it was a hat.
It is a hat. Yes, he wore a hat.
But it looked like a turtle shell to me, and I honestly thought that's what it was. Anyway.
So is it safe to say this was one of your mother's favorite B horror movies, or no?
Well, I saw it multiple times with her, so she didn't turn it off. She's a big Bela Lugosi fan, so I'm not sure. I think she really liked Dracula and everything Dracula. But these kind of movies, she would always leave on.
I was going to say Bela Lugosi is not in this film.
No, he's not. No. Might have been helpful if he was, or maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, you want to hear the summary?
Oh, I would love to.
Okay. The Brain That Wouldn't Die was made in 1962. It's a black and white, unrated. A surgeon working on experimental transplant procedures seems to be on the verge of a major breakthrough with his technique, even though his surgeon father disapproves of his manner of research. While out driving with his fiancée, the doctor crashes his car and is horrified to discover his bride-to-be is decapitated. Rushing his fiancée's head to his lab, he is able to revive her, where she is now living as a bodiless entity kept alive by tubes and an experimental serum. Hoping to restore his fiancée, the surgeon begins to frequent bars and gentlemen's clubs, looking for a candidate for transplanting his fiancée's head onto another body. All the while, the fiancée grows to hate her surgeon boyfriend for refusing to let her die.
That was well done, I have to say. I didn't read this before I watched the movie.
So you had surprises then.
Oh, yeah. This was nothing like I thought it was going to be. I'm going to say that right up front.
Well, without reading the summary, you might be a little confused by the title.
I guess. No, I don't know.
It could be a zombie movie, maybe. I guess zombies don't have brains.
No, they look for brains.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe we have a cocktail as well that you have chosen for us to enjoy while we talk about this wonderful film.
I've almost forgotten the cocktail. It's an integral
it's a good thing I have notes.
So the cocktail is called the Mad Scientist, and it's actually very simple. You just it's vodka and soda. It's basically a vodka soda, but there is a special ingredient. You need to get a pack of Skittles and separate out your favorite color and throw those separated Skittles into a cup of vodka and watch the magic happen. I chose green, so mine looks very radioactive.
Mine's purple.
Yeah.
I like purple.
Greg likes purple.
I do.
The color of royalty.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mine's very sweet. I don't know about yours.
Yeah, I think the Skittles definitely add some sweetness.
How long did you? Well, you have to let the Skittles infuse, right?
It doesn't take very long, but I let mine infuse.
Well, it says 8 to 12 hours in the directions.
Yeah, I think it gets sweeter. I think I only did mine for 5.
I did mine 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to give the listeners time to gather their ingredients?
Absolutely. Hold on. And we're back. So are you ready to get into this movie?
Let's hit it.
All right, here we go. Before even the title screen comes up, you hear a female voice say, "Let me die." That's the first thing you hear, at least on the DVD I was watching. And then we see the title screen, "The Brain That Wouldn't Die." All right, scene 1 opens in an operating room, a Snow White operating room.
I already have issues.
They're operating on a patient. The patient dies. I didn't realize that they were father and son at this point because I didn't read the description. But if you read the description, you know that the two doctors are father and son, and the son wants to take over after his father loses the patient.
Right. So before you even go any further, there's a bag that shows that the patient is breathing. It's expanding and contracting, and it just stops. And the father, as a surgeon, just kind of goes, "Welp, lost him." No CPR, no attempt at anything.
Clear.
Just like, no, none of that. Just, he's gone.
When is it? 1962? So.
Yeah, but something. He just throws his arms up, hands in the air. Welp, lost another one.
Yep, lost another one. Well, you get used to it when you reached your surgeon of his age, I assume.
I guess.
Maybe.
Okay, so sorry.
But the son does not want to give up. He says, "Can I try, my technique? Can I have him now?" Basically. And the dad says, "Do what you want with him. I don't care. He's gone. He's dead. Do what you want with him." So the father massages the heart while the son is like doing something to the brain. Although you don't see it. You just.
No, but he does slice open this person and stick his hand in the body to massage the heart. We'll get back to that. Proceed.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he does. And then the nurse reports, "Oh, I get a faint pulse," as the guy's hand, the patient's hand jerks, like moves a little bit. And then the father surgeon tells Dr. Bill, I'm just going to call him Dr. Bill, right? Dr. Bill Courtner, that's the character's name.
Mm-hmm. The son, yes.
Yep. Tells Dr. Bill, "Well, you better be careful about what you do because he could wind up, like paralyzed or something." And Dr. Bill asks his father, "Well, what would you rather be, paralyzed or dead?" That's a good question.
It is. It's a toss-up.
Yeah. And he says he's been working on something like this for weeks. And then I made a note that there is zero blood anywhere.
Zero. That's what I'm saying. He cut open the chest.
None.
No blood. The scalp is removed from this guy because you see the plastic brain in there, right? And he touches it. Yeah. Oh, it's a winner.
All right.
And he prods it with some tools.
See, I didn't see that either. So you must have been watching a different cut than me, but that's okay.
I have my own personal copy.
Then they sew the guy up, sew the guy's chest up. And again, there's no
there's no blood on the patient. There's no blood on their hands. There's no blood on them. It's like you said, Snow White.
Right. So then they go back to the washroom and they take their gloves off and wash their hands, even though there is no blood.
I know. Why do they bother?
I don't know. And this is when I realized, they're father and son from their conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the doctor's fiance comes in. Her name is Jan.
Yep. She's in white too, isn't she?
Yeah, she's in white too. Like she's a nurse or something.
Yeah.
Was the impression I got.
Yeah.
Although her head was not covered, was it? I don't think it was.
No.
She's kind of hesitant to kiss him, which I thought was kind of weird.
Well, his dad's right there.
Yeah, I guess it's 1962. But she does, make the comment to her future father-in-law that his grandchildren will not be test tube babies.
I know. Well, because
she's ready. She's ready to get busy.
Right.
I got the feeling.
Her future father-in-law says it'll be no fun to watch once you're married. I thought that was really odd too. Okay. Welcome to the family.
So the Dr. Bill and his fiancee Jan, they decide they're going to sneak off to the country house. The father makes a comment that since his wife died, that he really wants to sell it and get rid of it. But Dr. Bill says, "Oh no, you can't do that. We need that to get away from it all and
away from prying eyes."
That's right. And I made a note that Jan wants to get married quickly, and Dr. Bill says in a few weeks. And of course, Dr. Bill is smoking a Marlboro in the hospital as he's talking to the nurse, right?
As you do.
Yeah, that's what you do.
My pediatrician smoked. I remember distinctly. He smoked when we'd
Yeah.
go in there.
None of mine did. I don't think. So then we cut to the doctor, Dr. Bill and Jan, his fiance.
Oh, wait, before you go there,
Yes.
Dr. Bill and his dad have a conversation about the missing limbs at the hospital.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep.
And dad says to Dr. Bill, they suspect it's you.
Mm.
And Dr. Bill says, well, what if it is? Basically tells his dad, yeah, I'm totally stealing limbs for my experiments.
I mean,
And his dad
they're
just
just
says,
limbs. They're going to go in the garbage otherwise, right?
and his,
Why let
yeah,
them go to waste?
if you,
Recycle those things.
well, and his dad says, well, okay, I have to leave at 3:30 to go to a medical conference. Like, my son is
Okay.
taking limbs to do
Whatever.
experiments, but I'm cool with that. I got to go to my medical conference later. I
Yeah.
don't think I'd be that cool of a parent if my kid was stealing limbs from the hospital.
Well, if he was a surgeon.
But you know me, I guess I'm uptight. What are you gonna do?
All right. So we cut to the doctor, Dr. Bill and Jan, the fiance,
Mhm.
in the doctor's car, and they're speeding off to the country house in a nice car, a convertible. I made a note.
It is a nice car. He did get a call from Kurt. The nurse comes in and tells Dr. Bill that something terrible has happened.
That must have been when he was smoking his Marlboro.
Yeah. So they have to rush to the country house.
Right. And they're driving along. There's lots of road signs that say winding road, sharp turn ahead, and they kind of hit you over the head with that kind of stuff. Then I made a note that I think the car might be a Bel Air. What do you think, Karen?
I know it's an expensive car.
Would you like to know what kind of car it is?
I would love to know what kind of car
It is a 1959 Mercury Park Lane convertible. You know what it would be worth today in good condition?
$80,000.
Oh my God, that's exactly it. It is. And Karen is winning. I thought I could stump her, but no. Well, of course she's seen the movie. How many times you think? How many times you think you've seen this?
Good question. At least 6. I've forced many people to watch it with me.
I thought it was be more than that.
It's not that good, Greg.
I know. Well, don't spoil it for everybody. So they're speeding along, and we keep seeing shots of him pushing his foot to the floor on the accelerator.
Pedal to the metal.
Pedal to the metal. And then we see a shot of his face, like in shock, like, ah! And there's an accident apparently, and he is
not apparently.
Yeah, there's an accident.
There's a definite accident,
and he is thrown from the vehicle, and he rolls gently down the hill. I noted.
It's like he landed on a cloud.
Yes, just rolled along. So he runs up to the car. The car is on fire. And the doctor reaches through the broken glass of the windshield, I guess, because it's a convertible. That's the only glass there is.
There's not windows you can roll up and down?
They were down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were, yeah. She wouldn't have rolled it up as the car was flying over the side of the cliff.
All right. So the doctor reaches through the glass to try to get the girl. We do see a hand come up and fall down. So he reaches in the car, grabs something, and wraps it up in his coat. His jacket, right? His suit.
Suit jacket.
Yeah. And then he carries that thing all the way to the country home, which seemed like miles.
They made it look like miles.
And miles.
And he's running with this thing. We don't know what it is yet.
He's like staggering and running because apparently he's got some abdominal pain or something.
He's exhausted, but he's running like he just got a handoff from Peyton Manning. Like he's cradling it. I watch a lot of football. Well, when Peyton Manning, see how I slipped my boyfriend in there?
But did Peyton Manning really hand off a lot?
No, that's why you really got to hold on to it once you got it. But he's crazy. You know how they always say, protect the ball, protect the ball.
Yeah.
That's what he's running like. He's got his arms around it. I mean, you wouldn't want to drop it.
I made a note. It's taken a long time to get there, wherever he's going. I originally thought he was going back to town because the home did not look like a country home when he got there to me. My idea of country, and I guess their idea of country.
Kind of like what is it? Like a castle?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big like brick thing with stairs going up to the door and all kinds of stuff.
He has a nicer country home than you do.
Yep. So they run into the house, right? And this is where we meet Kurt, correct?
Yes.
And I made a note that finally we see some blood on the doctor's
I did
hand.
too. I did too. Not on the jacket, but on his hands.
Right. So he tells Kurt to get the room ready downstairs, right?
Sterilize the tubes and equipment.
Yeah. And the tubes are really a bunch of old-time phone cords.
Yes.
Back in the day, kids.
That's what I was going to say.
We
young
had
listeners.
wall phones or we had desk phones, and they had like coiled cords that held to the receiver, right?
Yeah,
where you talk and listen.
Because when we were teenagers, we got really long ones, so we could
did.
go down the stairs or
I
hide
had
in
like
the
a
closet.
20-footer.
Yeah, so you could hide.
Get away from the rents.
Yep.
The parental units. And talk about things you shouldn't be doing when you're a teenager.
It didn't matter. You just didn't want to listen. Let them.
Well, that's what they tell me anyway.
You didn't have siblings.
No, I didn't.
You didn't have them call, and when they'd say, "Karen, it's a boy," and then Dad's ears would perk up. So
no, never had to deal with that.
Yeah, well, you missed out.
Yep.
So
there's a bunch of phone cords everywhere, and there's a bunch of boiling dark liquids. Right?
Yes.
And then on the DVD I'm watching, we cut to scene 2. The clock on the wall says 20 after 10. That's how it starts on the clock on the wall.
Tick-tock.
Finally, we see a head on a table, or as I've learned, it's called Jan in a pan.
Yep. And that's
so it's really like a pizza pan, right? With liquid in it, and her head's on top of it. I guess the liquid is the serum that's keeping her alive or whatever, right?
Yes, his special serum is injected into it. I think it might be supposed to be blood. It's pretty dark, but it's very thin, so I don't know.
Yep. So Jan in the pan wakes up and says she remembers fire and burning. The doctor says something that he thinks he can make her complete again. I made a note. He's like a modern day Frankenstein or a 1962 Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein, right?
Yes.
So then we learned that he tried to, well, we've seen Kurt's arm by now a couple times, right?
Yeah. It's not a looker.
No, it's not. It's kind of crumbled up and all crippled and withering away. And then
about to fall off.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And then we learned that the doctor tried to transplant that arm on Kurt and it failed. So Kurt is one of his human experiments, right?
Yes.
And Kurt keeps telling the doctor that he needs to check the closet. Because that's why, he called the hospital, right? And told the nurse that he's got to come out immediately because there's something going on in the closet. So we find out there's a creature in the closet, some kind of creature, one of his experiments gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, we don't see it, but we hear it.
And they keep it locked up. So then we cut to Dr. Bill out on the town.
All right, hold on a second, though. There's a couple things. First, they do mention that he has 50 hours at most.
That's right, 48 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, 48 to 50 hours to
keep her alive, to find a body. So his goal was to find a body so that he can put his fiance's head, Jan, on a new body. So of course he has to go out and go shopping for a body now.
Yes, poor Bill, right? But Kurt makes a point, and I just want to mention this, that he asks Dr. Bill, what about her soul? Because he's talking about that your soul is in your brain and in your heart, is what he says. So I'll come back to that later. But I just thought he's putting that out there. But yes, now Dr. Bill heads towards the seedy part of town.
Yes, with the sleazy jazz music playing in the soundtrack.
Yes.
And this is where I thought, oh my God, this was Karen's mother's one of her favorite movies. Okay. So
explains a lot, doesn't it?
He winds up at this place called, I guess, the Moulin Rouge, right? At least that's what the floor mat says. I wouldn't want to touch it, but that's what it says. And there's a bunch of pinup standees, cardboard standees there, and the doctor is smoking another Marlboro. He walks in and there's a woman dancing at a bar, right?
Scantily clad woman.
Scantily clad. Yeah, a blonde.
Basically a bikini and a feather boa or something.
Yeah. Yep. And so the brunette sitting at one of the booths keeps giving the doctor the eye.
I'm guessing that this doctor is supposed to be extra handsome.
I guess because like the
It
women
didn't
are
really-
like always falling all over him, it seems.
Yeah. Maybe it's, I don't know, money. I don't know. He didn't seem that handsome to me.
I don't know. Dr. Bill starts talking to the brunette. Right. Then the blonde who was just dancing comes in after her little floor show and sits next to the doctor in the booth, and the brunette gets all upset and leaves. The doctor, Dr. Bill, follows the blonde into the dressing room. Then I made a note, let me die, let me die. Did we hear that again?
Yeah, they cut to Jan in the Pan.
Oh, Jan in the Pan for just a minute there.
And just to
while the
show
doctor,
contrast,
Dr. Bill
yeah.
and the blonde are walking into her dressing room.
Right.
Okay. And so then this just gets crazy right here.
Well, Dr. Bill's looking at the merchandise.
Yeah, he's trying to
He's making her turn around and did you notice he kept putting his hands on her neck?
Yes.
Like he kept caressing her neck.
Yeah, and apparently that gets her all warmed up because, you know, she says, I'm over 21. Don't leave me when you get me all, after you got me all warmed up. And then the brunette enters again. Apparently she's one of the dancers too, and it's time for her to do her little floor show, right? And the blonde and the brunette start fighting over this Dr. Bill.
Yeah, they do. But the brunette, I think the key, what happens is the brunette says to Dr. Bill, I'd never forget you. Right. Mm. So he decides to leave because I didn't realize this because I never really paid that close attention.
But there's too many, he's got to go because this ain't going to work. There's too many witnesses. He's got to get a woman alone.
Right.
He's got to find the body he wants. He's got to get her alone and make sure he's not seen as the last person she's with, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So then the girls start fighting and they're rolling on the floor and then it cuts to two cats on the wall, right? There's like
pictures, yes.
Two cats on a wall. I guess that means it's a cat fight. And there's even a meow.
Right. Sounded like that was added in later.
Yeah.
And right after that, they cut to Jan in the Pan.
Right.
And they show two batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Two big flashlight batteries keeping her alive.
Big 6 volts or whatever, that big square one.
Yeah. It's like she's got the battery. She's good.
And apparently all this serum that Dr. Bill is pumping into her is giving her like the ability of like telekinesis, right?
That's what it
because she starts communicating with whatever it is that's locked up in the closet. And they do the, knock once for yes, knock two for no, she's talking to them. And so you already know they want revenge and they're probably going to get it.
They're having there's a little foreshadowing there. But I just noted, I said, her vocal cords wouldn't work without air going by. She needs lungs to talk, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things. It's just not, scientifically possible, right?
Yeah.
Although I did make a note later that she's a pretty good actress. She's probably the best actor in this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, she's the brains in this revenge plan and the creature's the brawn, Yeah. She's going to need some muscle. Obviously, she doesn't have much.
She can bite his ankles or something.
If she rolls right.
All right. So then on the DVD I was watching, we go to scene 3. Kurt, the assistant, comes down to check on them. He says something about the closet and nothing in there. He's not afraid of whatever's in the closet. And here's where I made the note. The actress who plays the head's pretty good.
She starts laughing maniacally at him.
Yeah. So we find out this assistant used to be a surgeon. Kurt used to be a surgeon, just like Dr. Bill. If there was an accident, he makes a statement that the alcoholic has his bottle, the dope addict had his needle, and he had his research. So he's like addicted to research.
Yeah. And he said a surgeon needs both arms, which is true. He does need both.
Yeah.
She does say that if he gets a body for her and he transplants it, that there'll be rejection. But that's when Kurt tells her about the new serum that
Yeah.
he's got.
Yeah. And they talk about the creature in the closet, right? How the serum Dr. Bill is using now is better.
Mm-hmm. She says a quote, which I have here: "My brain burns with power." I like that one.
Yeah.
I use that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start walking around saying that. My brain burns with power. Because she's, whatever this serum is giving her results he might not ask for, she says. She feels this power building in her. And that's how she's communicating with whatever is in the closet.
Right.
So
then we cut to the next morning.
But, okay, so Dr. Bill comes home.
Yeah.
Without a body. Goes to bed.
Yeah.
He goes to bed. He's got
48 hours.
It's like, I'll just take a little snoozer here.
So we cut to the next morning, and Dr. Bill has another new convertible. And he starts to troll the streets he's shopping for a body again.
That car, to me, I wrote down, looks like the Batmobile. Do you know what that one is?
That's a good observation.
Would
you like to know what kind of car that is, Karen?
I would love to know what kind of car that is.
That is a 1959 Ford Fairlane 500 Galaxy Sunliner, which I think.
Say that again.
A 1959 Ford Fairlane 500 Galaxy Sunliner, which I think is what the Batmobile was based on. Hold on. Baseline design of a Ford Futura. I was wrong. But it's very similar.
The iconic television Batmobile was a superficially modified concept car. The decade-old Lincoln Futura, owned by auto customizer George Barris, whose shop did the work.
Yeah. But it does look a lot like a Ford Fairlane 500 Galaxy Sunliner. It's just that the Futura had the bubble top and windshield and all that, so they didn't have to change a lot of that. But the Futura did have like the fins and all that shit.
It's
the Fairlane.
It's the back end.
Yeah,
that looks like it.
Yeah, because I think that's what a lot of people think it is a Ford Fairlane, but it's not.
Dropping the knowledge on the peeps. And
what do you think that car would be worth today in good condition?
Is it more or less than the other one? Give me a hint.
I can't do that.
120,000.
No, you're way off.
Well,
40,000.
Oh.
According to whatever website I was on. So the doctor pulls up this girl, and apparently they know each other. She says, "Oh, it's you, Bill."
It's Donna.
Is that Donna?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is Donna. So he ends up with another girl. So they're driving along, and then they pull up to another girl, I guess Donna's friend, and they're kind of going to the same place. So they said, "Hey, can we hop in your car?" But originally, the doctor says, "Hey," tells Donna, "You mind if I stop by my house first before we go to this beauty pageant?" Right?
They're all going to the body beautiful contest.
Yeah, the body beautiful contest.
How convenient. Well, isn't that convenient?
Dr. Bill's day.
Yeah.
So he reluctantly says, "Yeah, you can come with us." And now he's like, "Never mind. I don't need to go by my house because now there's two of you. I don't need two bodies. I just need one."
No witnesses.
Right. Make the comment about safety in numbers. The two girls do. I mean, there's all the dialogue in this is all. I'm going to say right now, Dr. Bill, I think, is enjoying all this too much. I think the guy's a serial killer. You know, he enjoys the hunt.
Well, he's a douche too. I mean, when he's he's just, yes, he is enjoying it way too much on all levels.
Yeah. The little comments he makes, innuendos, you know, and the girls too. They all do it. So they end up at this beauty contest, the Body Beautiful contest. I made a note that I thought Betty should win.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but the doctor seems to like Peggy.
Funny, I didn't notice any names.
Oh, well, Betty, Peggy. And then Donna brings up, well, they talk about Peggy, and Donna says she's got the second best body I've ever seen. And the doctor is, oh, really? Well, who's the best body?
And
And
he's
Don,
watching the whole thing just lecherously.
oh yeah,
Like,
licking his lips, biting his.
Uncomfortable
It's bad.
grossness. Yes. A little overdone is all
Yeah.
I'm going to say. But yes, so
Doris talks about this model who's got the nicest body she's ever seen.
Donna does. Yeah, Doris is the name of the model.
Yeah, they talk about Doris the model. Yeah.
Yeah.
Donna does. The nicest body they've ever seen. And then I made a note that the head can read the doctor's thoughts. Like she's, I don't know, miles and miles away, right? She's still in the country cabin. He's out in the city, and she's picking up on what he's doing.
Well, I didn't get that. I know they cut back to her and she says they must stop Bill to the creature in the closet. So you're maybe right. Yes.
And then I made a note about the sleazy jazz music playing. So then the doctor drives over to the art studio where Doris is posing for photographers, right?
Yeah, probably an amateur camera club. Classes.
Yeah, doing classes.
Classes.
Yeah, she's in a bikini doing her poses, her voguing.
Yes.
Right? And the doctor checks as he walks in the door. He looks around to be sure no one sees him go in. So then my next note is that Doris hates men.
Yes, right? She does.
She doesn't date men. She doesn't like men. Apparently there was an accident. And then we find that her face is scarred on one side.
But Dr. Bill checks all around before he goes in the front door or the door. And there's like 5 guys in there.
Mm-hmm.
That I guess they're all looking at Doris because
no one noticed him. He goes in and sits down on the couch and just watches. And even Doris doesn't notice him until all the photographers are gone. Right? She says, "Hey, buddy, next time buy a ticket or bring a camera or whatever." Right?
Yeah, pay for a class.
And he's like, "Oh, you don't remember me? I'm Bill. I'm Bill Kortner." And she's like, "Oh yeah." I guess he defended her at some point back in the day against a man or something.
Yeah, that's what something.
Yeah. So then we see the scar on her scarred up face, and Dr. Bill convinces her that he and his father can help her with plastic surgery. And
do you think it was acid? Do you think somebody? She said it was a jealous lover.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looks like an acid burn on her face.
I have no idea. Just looks like a scarred up face to me.
She never questions why he's there. He just starts talking to her about her face. She never says, "Why did you stop by?"
Yeah, true. And he tells her that I'm going to make your face beautiful again, cut it off, and give your body away.
Yep. He tells her right there.
He tells her that as she grabs his leg and starts squeezing his thigh.
See.
So then she goes to stop to call her girlfriend to tell her, "Hey, I'm going up to get my face looked at with a doctor," right? Or her room. I guess it's her roommate. She calls her a girlfriend, but
yeah, she says friend.
The doctor stops her and says, "Well, she'll probably, you don't want to like get her hopes up in case it doesn't work, and she'll probably want to ask a lot of questions and whatnot." So he convinces her, not to call. She does want to leave a note, right, to her girlfriend that I just let her know, hey, when she comes home and she's not there, hey, this is where I'm at. Everything's cool. So she's behind a screen getting changed, and the doctor hands her a pad of paper to write her note. She hands it back over the screen, and then he takes the note and crumples it up and leaves a blank folded piece of paper on the table for the roommate to find.
Because she mentioned his name in the note.
Yeah.
So she said, "I'm going with Bill to..."
Again, I feel like Bill has done this sort of thing before.
He does seem rather practiced.
All right. Then we cut to scene 4.
Well, he tells her, before we go there, he tells her that his father is a fantastic plastic surgeon and can help her.
Yep.
And they have to go now because his father is visiting him at the country home.
Oh, yeah.
So they need to go immediately.
Yeah, right now.
Yes. TikTok.
Yep. So we cut to scene 4, and we're back at the country house, and Kurt comes downstairs to feed the thing in the closet. So there's a little trap door, right, on the closet up above, like we're head level.
Yeah.
The thing in the closet reaches his arm out through that trapdoor and grabs Kurt by the arm as he is trying to feed him. And he ends up ripping Kurt's arm off. Right?
The good arm.
Yes, the good arm, not the bad arm. His
Yeah.
right arm, his good arm.
And the whole time, Jan is yelling, "Get him! Get him! Kill him! Kill him!"
Jan in the pan.
Yep. So he does rip off the good arm.
Yeah. And there is a lot of blood on his jacket and on his stump, right? But there is no blood.
It's not squirting.
No, there's no blood. Like he's not dripping blood anywhere. Right?
But this is the one scene that scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
Because when he goes up the stairs, he's leaning on the wall.
He leans on the wall, yeah.
And it's a smear of blood up the stairs.
Do you think that's chocolate syrup?
I don't know, possibly. It was very obvious that his arm was inside his coat.
It was. He had his arm behind his back in his coat.
Yeah.
But it was very dark blood. It kind of made me think it's like chocolate syrup or something. I think that was an old movie trick.
Could be.
And then I made a note.
It's creepy. It is a creepy scene.
So he goes upstairs and he thrashes around upstairs for a while, right? Then he comes back downstairs and thrashes around again for a while, and finally he drops. I made a note. It's the longest death scene ever.
I said every theater kid's dream dying scene because it took forever.
Yeah. Dr. Bill and Doris, right?
Yes.
Arrive at the country house, and she says that she trusts him with her life.
Wrong.
She says that. Yeah. So he tells, well, let me go, just sit here and relax. I'll go make us some drinks, right? So he goes back downstairs, and this is where he finds poor Kurt, the assistant who had his arm ripped off. He doesn't seem to be concerned about how it happened, though.
No, he doesn't say anything. He just covers it with the sheet and moves on.
Yeah, he doesn't wonder, how did that arm get ripped off?
It's a familial trait. His dad was like, well, you're using limbs. Okay, I'm going.
So Dr. Bill closes the door on the closet, the trap door.
The little trap door, yeah.
But he does not latch it. I made a note of that. He just closes it. And I think I make a note later, but that door is a pretty crappily painted prop. Like a big piece of cardboard made to look like a door. Do you notice that?
No, but I'm not a home haunter like you, so. That's
true. But yeah, you can tell someone tried to like do a faux wood grain on a big piece of like shipping cardboard, like the thick cardboard stuff.
Wouldn't pass muster at Wallace Manor Haunt. That's all.
No, maybe in the dark. It'd probably be okay in the dark.
If you lit it properly.
Yeah, but nothing in bright light. So he, like you said, he covers up Kurt, and then he and the girl a drink, and he puts a little something in the girl's drink, a little special ingredient.
Yes.
And here's why I note the closet door is a badly painted prop. So then he goes back upstairs, gives Doris her drink, and then she starts saying,
oh, but wait, he says, here's to your future, whatever that might be.
Yes, he does. I do remember that.
I think if anyone toasted me with that, I would not drink the drink. But then it does start to get
especially
warm.
After he said, I'm going to make your face beautiful, cut it off, and give your body away.
Yes. You think she might have gotten a hint. It starts go ahead. It starts to get very warm.
Yes, very warm. So
very warm.
She starts taking off her coat, and I was like, I wonder where this is going. But it didn't go very far because she starts feeling, I feel funny. And then the sleazy jazz starts playing again, and she passes out.
But first she says, Bill, you put something in my drink.
Yes.
And then she passes out.
Yep, then she passes out. And Dr. Bill carries her downstairs.
Because he tells Jan in a pan he wants a complete woman.
That's right. Wants a complete woman. So I guess he puts Doris on the table, starts getting all of his tools together. I guess he's gonna, cut off her head and
with a scalpel.
Yeah. He says something about when she awakes, it will be your head or something weird like that, right? He tells Jan.
Yeah. But he's got a scalpel.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna work on your on your
don't know.
spinal cord.
I'm not a
You
surgeon.
need like a saw.
Like a bone saw?
Yes. Or a really sharp
Well,
machete.
I'm sure I've heard there's lots of nerves and things in the spinal column. So you might want to do it delicately,
Nice clean cut. People talk, you hear things. Nice clean cut.
Yeah, I
A
guess.
scalpel's not going to get through the bone, though.
Yeah,
There's
you're
no
right.
way. Even through
Yeah, but isn't your spinal column made of bones, cartilage, bone, cartilage?
you'd have to be very precise, yes. But it's
Oh,
still
he's Dr. Bill. He's been doing this for weeks.
the scalpel he has is like a half an inch. It's going to take 50 hours to get through everything.
I suppose. Well, he's got 24 hours left, right? It's probably been 24 hours.
It's the next night already. Yeah, I guess. He went to sleep. So it was a day, part of the day, the sleazy part of the nighttime. He takes a nap. It's the next day. Was it dark when he got to Doris's? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, because it seems like he was sitting on the couch against the window, and it was a dark background.
All right. So,
but I also feel like there's not a lot of consistency in these scenes. I've noticed like all of a sudden it seems lighter or darker or whatever. But Jan in the pan starts getting mouthy.
She does.
That's all she can do. She can blink her eyes and run her mouth.
Must be stopped.
Yeah. So the doctor takes some surgical tape and just tapes her mouth shut.
Tapes her mouth shut. She has no say in what he didn't ask her. He didn't show her pictures and say, which body do you want? He just picked one he wanted.
Yeah, he picked the one he wanted.
Rude.
Again, this is what I'm thinking. Wow, this is nothing like I thought it was going to be. Okay. Thanks, Karen's mom.
Always an adventure.
So the doctor ends up getting close to the door of the closet, right?
And Jan's using her brain full of power.
Her brain full of power, her telekinesis, her newfound gift. So the creature in the closet grabs the doctor from behind and rips the cardboard door off its hinges.
But he doesn't face the door. He's backwards to the door.
Yeah.
When he didn't lock the
right. So the creature can just like put his arm out and grab him around the neck.
And then they fight with the door between them.
Yeah, the cardboard door between them. Yeah. And they end up knocking while they're fighting. They end up knocking over a Bunsen burner or whatever. Is that the proper technical term, Karen?
I don't know. I didn't see what it was, but everything catches on fire.
Yeah, I assume it's a Bunsen burner because everything does catch on fire in the room. And then the creature bites the neck of the doctor.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Jan is moving her lips furiously to get rid of the tape.
Yes, she is.
It's quite impressive.
Yeah, well, you think she could just she didn't use her tongue. She could have used some tongue action there.
Oh God.
Push that tape right off of her lips, maybe.
You and Dr. Bill. So the creature bites Bill. And he must get the jugular.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because they made a point to show that piece of flesh or whatever it was
thrown on the ground with a big splat.
Yeah, with the chocolate syrup, probably. It looked like a piece of chicken that was dipped in chocolate syrup. Something like that. It does.
It was not their finest work.
It's probably what it was.
And then Jan screams it through the fire as Bill's laying on the floor. I told you to let me die. And then she starts laughing.
Yeah. And then the creature in the latex mask picks up.
He comes out of the closet. He's out of the closet.
Yes, he is. He's kind of like a hunchback. And I did find out who he was. And I guess he's like a big 7 foot tall dude. And he was kind of famous back in the day. I think he was a circus guy or something. He's obviously wearing a latex mask over his head. He's got a hunchback, the stuff, something stuffed up in there.
Yeah, he's all put together with tissues and limbs by Dr. Bill.
Right. So he picks up Doris and carries her out up the stairs while the rest of the room burns. And then there's laughing from Jane in the pan,
Yes.
and then credits.
Roll credits.
Roll the credits. The end.
Come on. That's a masterpiece.
So I have questions. Much like you did in the monster walks. What happens to poor Doris?
Well, or the creature.
Or the creature?
What's he going to do?
He
kind of looked like the Hulk with the creature from the Black Lagoon head. You know, like his clothes are all ripped up, like he had changed into the Hulk. And
yeah, I thought he looked like the big dumb dude in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Kind of had like a boyish look about him, but he was kind of like messed up. Like one eye was like 5 inches higher than the other.
In the wrong spot. He was not symmetrical.
He looked like a Pablo Picasso.
Yes, he did. In a not good way.
Right. So I was wondering, well, what happened?
Well, maybe they were planning a sequel. I don't know.
Oh, I guess Doris is okay, right? I don't know. Or does the creature take her away to be his slave? I don't know. Who knows?
I guess you have to use your imagination.
And I assume the country house burns to the ground.
Well, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, there's no phones out there. He made a point to say we come out here to get away from all the telephones and
well, he used all the telephone cords in his experiment.
That's true. So yeah, I was just wondering what happens to poor Doris.
She lives, Greg. She's okay.
Okay.
But she doesn't get to fix her face. Or maybe the creature gave her some tissue.
I don't know. Or maybe
on there.
Maybe the father does end up helping her, because he feels bad because of how his son tormented her and almost killed her.
True.
So maybe the father surgeon, the plastic surgeon.
But he's not a plastic surgeon. I think that was a lie.
I think it's a lie. You think Bill was lying?
I know. Shocking. Dr.
Bill?
I have a slight suspicion that perhaps he might have been lying.
Yeah, again, I have to say that, he has done this many times before. I get the feeling. He enjoyed it far too much.
Yeah, I agree. So I looked up, not thoroughly, but the first transplant was a kidney in 1954.
Yeah.
And they didn't do liver, heart, and pancreas until the late 60s. So this was the early 60s. So I was wondering if this was some sort of cautionary tale against, transplant.
Karen, I think you're giving it more credit than it deserves.
Well, that's what, if I had to write an English paper about it, that's what I would say. Because he brought up the soul. Kurt brought up the soul. And if you took a head from one person and a body from another, would the soul still be there? Or whose soul would it be?
I did get the feeling that it was kind of a transplants and things had started happening.
Right.
And that this was kind of like, a playing God kind of thing.
That's what I'm trying. Yes, that's what I mean. Right. And that there was a cautionary tale. Like maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And I also did look up.
That's why I would copy off of you if we were in English class together.
There have been successful head transplants on monkeys. I read that, but they never connected the spinal cord, and they only survived the surgery. So they killed them.
Doesn't mean a lot.
No, but they could connect the head to the body and get circulation.
Yeah, but
they don't. And remember, there
basically
was
be a Jane in a pan. Can't move.
Well, no, but you'd have a body. That was
great. That you can't move.
Well, do you remember a couple years ago?
But you can't feel?
5 years ago, wasn't there a Russian guy or someone had volunteered to be the first head transplant? Yeah. Was it a Russian guy?
I remember hearing something about it. I don't know.
But then he backed out.
I didn't know that. I do know they do face transplants.
I'm not going to say anything. You walked right into that, and I'm just going to be quiet. I'm not going to
one person got their face ripped off by a monkey, and they ended up doing like a face transplant on them.
See, a monkey. It's always a monkey with us.
Always a monkey. There was no monkey in this, though.
No.
Nope. There was no Will.
True. This was a broad departure for us.
Way out of the left field.
Yeah. Well, what did you think it was going to be about?
I didn't expect all the sexploitation.
It's 1962. It's a
I
B
know,
horror
but
movie. That's what they all are.
really? Are they really?
They
I don't
kind
know.
of are.
I mean, there was no Hitchcock Blonde.
Well, there was the sexy dancing blonde. There was the
There was
obligatory.
Betty. She was a blonde.
Oh, Betty was a blonde.
Betty, yeah, I think she should have won. But whatever. I wasn't there to judge.
There was the obligatory.
Maybe she did win. I don't know that they ever said, who
They
won.
didn't.
And I
There's
thought they
always
said there were
script.
5 finalists and they only showed 4 girls.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Okay.
I think there was one behind the scenes.
Okay. So, Karen, anything you were pleasantly surprised by in this film?
I was pleasantly surprised by how a woman can act with just her head.
I agree. That's what I would say too. She carried the movie.
She had full face makeup too. You probably wouldn't notice that. Like I didn't notice, who was it, Betty? I did notice she was fully made up in the pan.
No, I think, was it Betty? Yeah, it was Betty.
Jan had
I had to rewind a few times to get the name. So I worked hard on this.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I think Jan in the Pan, good actress. Even just playing a head in a pan.
She looked like her brain had power. She conveyed that well.
Yeah, she's very confident. And anything you were very disappointed in?
Well, the science was a little difficult to watch, but
science.
Exactly. Science. I had a hard time with that, but
yeah, I watch these kind of movies, I feel like you just have to kind of go into it, with a certain level.
I know, but you should have blood in the operating room. It's black and white. You can use chocolate syrup, like you said. It's $1.69 at the grocery store.
Yeah, I agree with the blood thing, but I'm not going to rip on, her not being able. She shouldn't be able to talk and breathe and all that because she has no lungs, and
it's the lymphatic system that he's working with.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Well, they said it was just in her neck, but you have lymph nodes all over.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree. But I was more disappointed in the whole sexploitation thing.
Even though you enjoyed Betty.
Whoa, this is not what I expected at all. And it was like, man, cheap and sleazy, I felt.
Yeah, but I think that's the genre.
Okay. So what'd you think of the drink?
I like the drink.
I like it. I think this is the most dangerous of the drinks we've done.
You mean you could sip a lot of them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
It's
I
like
think it'd be a
Kool-Aid.
it'd be a fun party drink.
Yeah. Well, and you should say that it was a punch recipe, right? At least the one I found was a punch recipe that, like, you're supposed to use a whole bottle of vodka and a whole bag of the Skittles and divide all the colors out. But it does say you just put one shot of in a glass and fill it with. Yeah, it would make a good punch. And also, when I was looking this up, I kept finding kids punch recipes for Halloween parties.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the virgin.
But how would you do that?
No vodka?
Yeah, but the vodka has the color.
That's true. Maybe you infuse it with the lemon lime sprat.
Maybe. I don't know. We are drinking it out of beakers too.
Beakers.
Yeah.
Beakers. Yep.
I just think it would be, you could hand out the beakers, and you're supposed
to. If you go to our YouTube channel, you might see me making this drink.
True.
On video.
It's supposed to have a dry ice, a tiny bit of dry ice in the bottom, but neither one of us could find that. So
I may find it and refilm it though. So we'll see. We'll see.
But don't drink the dry ice.
No, don't drink the dry ice. That'd be bad. Okay.
Very bad.
Very bad. So, Karen, anything we've learned today, either from our comments or this film?
Let's see. I've learned that I can slip in a Peyton Manning reference with something totally unrelated.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You did a good
Yeah,
job.
I
Good
like
job with
that.
that.
I'm sure he'll be proud when he listens.
Yes, I'm sure he will.
My Peyton.
I told you what kind of cars they were and what they were worth. You know, if you had any questions about what a 1959 Mercury Park Lane convertible would be worth today,
Well, that's the one I knew, right?
no.
Oh,
Yeah, the cost,
yeah.
what it's worth. Yeah, that's the one you knew. But you did kind of catch that it looked like the other one looked like the Batmobile. The
It did.
1959 Ford Fairlane 500 Galaxy Sunliner.
I feel like we should tell people that we drink during this. Do you think they know that? Because at the end, it gets a little loopy. And we should also mention that Greg pre-games.
No more than usual.
Well,
but I think it's pretty clear that, we're combining horror films and cocktails.
Well, let me throw out my new slogan.
Okay.
The Scary Spirits Podcast, where the movies are iffy, but the drinks are solid.
Yes. Solid.
Or where the movies are weak, but the drinks are strong.
I like iffy and solid better.
Yeah.
So, any idea what our next film's going to be?
Our next film is Greg's choice. What is it?
It is my choice. The next film is going to be The Vampire Bat, a 1933 black and white unrated film. That's all I'm going to say about it.
You need to tell us what we need to gather.
Yes. We're going to have another themed beverage.
Like I'm going to hunt and gather these ingredients.
That's what we do here.
You need to tell us what we need to gather.
So
like
we
I'm
need
to go out.
Yeah.
And gather.
We need Bacardi rum. We need
or any rum because they don't sponsor us yet.
Yeah, that's true. Just any old rum will do. Some ginger ale. So like just a little can of ginger ale will be enough, just 5 ounces. Some of the blue curacao. I'm getting so good at saying that.
I know. Way to go.
And some cranberry juice. Again, not much. Just one of those little tiny cans will do. And you're going to need a splash of grenadine. So you need rum, ginger ale, blue curacao, cranberry juice, grenadine. And then we're going to want to garnish it with frozen blueberries or blackberries.
Fancy.
Yeah, I'm using blueberries. So.
Okay. So you need to put them on a toothpick and go across the top of the glass?
That's what you do. And the drink is called the Bat's Brew. Vampire Bat's Brew.
Nice.
See what I did there?
You're very clever.
We do need to thank, once again, Verse 13 for letting us use their music in our podcast. Anything else, Karen?
I just want to say thanks, everyone, for listening, and please drink responsibly.
Yes.
If you want to get social with us, you absolutely can. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Spirits Podcast. Email us your questions and comments to scaryspiritspodcast@gmail.com. Search for us on YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast and check out our website at scaryspirits.com. You can find all the recipes for our themed adult beverages in the recipe den on the website. We are especially excited about our Scary Spirits merch store. Lots of cool stuff with our logo on it. You can find the link to the store on the website. And be sure to share the love and help others find us by leaving us a 5-star review. As always, thanks for listening.